You're listening to 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester, Massachusetts, the Dr.Chris Radio Horror program. And tonight on Radio Horror, we have a distinguished horror actress on the show who's been in so many frickin' movies. It's unbelievable. Dating all the way back to 1996's Tromeo and Juliet, we have Scream Queen herself, Tiffany Shepis, on the show with us. Thank you for coming on the show with us, Tiffany.
Hey. Thank you for having me, 91.3 FM, Dr. Chris. This is crazy. I am obsessed with the area you are in.
You should totally, move out here and start making movies here because they're freaking cheap to make because we have that good old tax credit.
Well, you have a good tax credit. You have really creepy-looking old places. It's always gloomy there in the winter. I think we're onto something.
And you were here last week in Cape Cod on vacation, though.
I was in Cape Cod. I was in Falmouth, Mass. And I went to Plymouth and went to Amity Island, of course, Martha's Vineyard.
Did you touch Plymouth Rock?
What's that?
Did you go to Plymouth Rock?
We did go to Plymouth Rock, but interestingly enough, we saw the Mayflower 2, which it's probably a really boring horror conversation, but we went to Mayflower 2. And then it started to pour rain on us, and I was like, F that, I don't need to see the rock. So my daughter ran over, took a picture of it, and was like, yeah, it's the big rock. And ran back and told me, and we got ice cream and left.
I'm sure if we asked the Pilgrims, billions of years ago, I'm sure they have a horror story or two to tell us about the Mayflower.
For sure, you think? Or the giant rock, they'd be like, why does anyone care about this rock?
I think you found the movie you need to come out here and make, the Mayflower horror story.
Wasn't that done with The Witch?
Yeah, I don't think that was filmed in Massachusetts, though.
Yes, it was.
It was?
Oh my god, dude, I'm almost...
I only saw it in theaters. I haven't bought the DVD or the Blu-ray yet, so I didn't watch any of the bonus material, the commentary. I haven't researched anything about the film, so you're probably right. I didn't know.
I don't know if I'm right, but I feel like I should be right. I think it was shot there. Anyway, it looks like it was shot in the little pilgrim village that I went to. Like, those are the little actors that got exiled from their little community. That's what they look like. 100%.
Gotcha.
And I saw Black Phillip all over the place.
All right. Yeah. It probably did happen. So I'll have to look into that. Again, I still got to buy the Blu-ray. So it was an excellent movie, and I still got to pick it up.
You do. You're proving to be a less than awesome horror fan.
Listen, you.
Or less than awesome horror fan and Massachusetts tour guide.
That's what you should have let me do. I should have been your tour guide for all the other horror stuff in New England you probably missed. Like, you probably didn't go to Providence, and in Providence we have, H.P. Lovecraft buried, and all of his weird Cthulhu crap.
No, I didn't go to what they call it, P-Town, right?
Yeah, P-Town.
I know the lingo. I did not, because it was the choice of going there or Plymouth, and I chose Plymouth because it was 20 minutes as opposed to an hour and 20, and that's the kind of vacationer I am.
You didn't go to Salem, did you?
Realize how big Mass really was, and I really thought everything was it has to be only 40 minutes from there. And it turned out it was really wrong. So that we are going to do, but we'll come back in September or October.
There you go. Oh, October would be perfect because it's so nuts here because of Halloween.
Sure. No kidding.
Halloween in Salem is freaking crazy, Bill.
I'll bet. Yeah. So we're definitely coming back to do it. But the purpose of this trip, the 100% purpose, was to go to Martha's Vineyard to see where they shot Jaws. That's it. And mission accomplished.
There you go. Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. Just don't ever let anyone cast you in the remake of Jaws. Stand on your moral high ground and be like, no, I'm not going to do that movie.
You're out of your mind. I'd be like, pick me.
Are you serious? Oh, man. It's right up there with people wanting to be cast in the remake of Ghostbusters.
You're hilarious. Give the movie a shot.
No,
Give it one shot till it comes out. Don't be that guy.
No, I'm sorry, but after that Fall Out Boy song, that cemented my just absolute distaste.
That song is terrible. The
Thank
song
you.
is terrible,
yeah.
And the trailer looks pretty bad.
Nail one in the coffin.
You still have to give it a shot. You do. You can't be the bandwagoner. Everyone says it sucks. I think it sucks too. You have to go, give it a shot, and then be like, all right, this blows, or wow, that was kind of okay, or wow, that was amazing.
Now, this first thing that I when I really started was just like, oh, I gotta get Tiffany on the show, and because I kept seeing you posting on Twitter about 12 Monkeys, and I don't watch that show, but I was like, is she on that show? I should totally watch that show. But you're only in like one episode of that show. Do you find
Yeah.
TV easier than movies, like picture length movies, to make?
Did I find doing television episode easier?
Any television episodes you've done, yeah.
No, I mean, it's kind of all the same, except TV just moves a lot faster. You know, and actually that's not even really all that true, but I mean, a typical television show shoots like an episode in a week.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, you're kind of there and you do your thing, and, you know, you could be in and out of something in a day. And, you know, movies you could be on for weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, obviously the lower budget ones you could be on for 4 days as well, but it's often not going to turn out as well. But I mean, at this point in the way things are going for television and film, it's way awesome to be on TV. Like, it's first of all, compared to indie film and compare it to mainstream television, like, you get treated like a god. You know, it's like, you know, there's food and people there to make sure you're warm, or if you're hot, there's fans, and everything is kind of just like a slight notch better than making indie movies. On the flip side, for television stuff, people are mostly there because it's a job, you know, like the quote unquote job, rather than the independent stuff where people are there for a passion, you know. But most often the passion's there just to be able to get to a point where you can have your passion as a job.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha. You know, what's funny is that I have you on the show tonight, and following after you get off the show, which is recorded, by the way, answering your email, we have one of your co-stars on the show from Death House. We have Sean Whalen coming on.
Oh, Sean Whalen. He's a good guy. I like Sean. Sean's fun. People under the stairs himself.
Can you talk about Death House yet? Are you allowed to? Because that movie's got, like, freaking everybody in it.
Dude, I don't know what to say about it. It's crazy.
It's not out yet.
There's a lot of people in it. It's not out yet.
Okay.
We just finished shooting. They're kind of messing with all the trailers now. There's a lot of horror actors in there.
Oh my God! Look at this list. The only person not in it is Robert Englund.
The movie's not done yet. You never know, right?
Oh.
That's not like I know nothing. Trust me.
Okay, so you hear it here. Robert Englund, according to Tiffany Shepis, tweeting and Instagramming and MySpacing.
Yes, do that. It gets everyone so far.
But seriously, I mean, God, it just keeps going on. You got, like, really obscure people like Sarah French, who, you know, she's well known, but you really gotta search and hunt for her. If you go to conventions, then you know Sarah French.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how most, you know, Scream Queens start out. You know, they don't become a household horror indie name, like, just right off the bat. They start doing conventions, they do a few movies here or there, they show their boobs, and the next thing you know, everybody's talking about it.
You don't know anything about that, right? You've always been doing clean-cut movies.
Passed the torch to Sarah French. That's my homegirl. I love her. Passed it on. She will be the boob bearer. Yeah, they have a lot of people in it. The movie's really batshit crazy. The only thing everybody knew about stuff was basically their scenes.
Uh-huh.
So I couldn't even tell you what it's about, other than, holy crap, it's going to be nuts. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of crazy gore, and I look like a really mean doctor, according to my Twitter post. When I'm not talking about 12 Monkeys, I talk about Death House, and I look mean.
Yeah, I mean,
doctor.
And you get, like, you know, again, more of, like, the people kind of getting into the industry now. They're in their late, you know, they're still in their 20s or so, like Courtney Palm and the other actors as well. And it's like you got Adrienne Barbeau narrating, and you got Kane Hodder.
Yeah, you got Kane, Tony Todd's in it, Felissa Rose, she's in it, and she produced it. She's probably the main reason why I was involved in the movie. Really good friends with Harrison, the director, and she kind of pulled everybody together. So it's kind of like, if you're friends with us, you got in. You know, it's like the horror friend dream team. Deborah Shawn's in it. Like, there's just a lot of crazy people, and I think it all started with the fact that it was Gunnar Hansen's script, his original story. And if you ever met Gunnar, or anyone listening ever met Gunnar, they know he was just like a super nice guy.
Yeah.
He was this kind of big, genuine teddy bear of a nice dude. And so I think a lot of people signed on to this movie really kind of for that. You know, knowing that if Gunnar were alive to see it, like, you would jump on instantly because he was just so wonderful, and he would kind of do the same for you. So I think that really helped in getting everybody on board.
I've had Harrison Smith on the show. I didn't realize it was him, but I had him on for his movie Club Camp Dread. Camp Dread.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Harrison's a nice dude.
I didn't realize that. I was like, oh my god, I've had him on the show. So that's fantastic.
Look at you. You should have been in Death House. You know everybody.
You know, I just don't have a good enough agent. I'm honestly like a freaking nobody. God, I mean, I've been doing this for 9 years. I owe a lot of it to like Kevin inspiring me to kind of do it. It's been like up and down. I made a lot of mistakes, like, you know, like putting myself out there as much with the show and getting the word out there. In 9 years, and other shows have had like like bigger like reactions, and they've been on lots of time. But now I'm getting into kind of like, you know, doing my own films as like a hobby. And like next month, we're doing a movie called The Sleepover, and it's a horror comedy about a couple girls in their underwear watching horror movies, eating pizza, drinking beer, and somebody tries to break in. Now, without giving it away, that's where the comedy begins to come into play, without giving away who the killer or intruder is. And there's like a couple like, and then it kind of ends. It's a very, very short movie, but we're going to really build it up.
The pizza delivery woman?
We have such a tiny little cast, and like there's absolutely no budget whatsoever. I got to keep it to the 3 people, the 2 girls plus the guy who tries to get in. Making movies, it can be like a challenge, especially if there's like no budget whatsoever. You're kind of doing it based on like who needs help in their career.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're really limited in the regards of getting good talent, you know, I mean, because, and this is not always the case, but often you'll find that the people that are a little more reliable and could possibly give you the character that you're looking for, they're union actors, so they're SAG, and so if they're SAG, you have to pay them SAG rates, and if they're SAG, you have to pay all these certain penalties and things and stuff like that, which a lot of indie budgets can't afford. Or you find yourself in the position that, like, I did so many indie movies where it's like, well, we only have so much money, and so we can't get people to work for free every day, so we have to shoot only on weekends or those kind of things. And that proves to be really hard, you know? Which is why I think, like, anything, like, mainstream is just easier, you know? It's like if you have, I mean, not to say that people, like, on television shows and stuff, budget-wise, don't have problems, you know? It's like the bigger the thing is, the higher the expectations are.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, you may have $2 million, but it's almost the same thing. It's like, but $1.5 million is going to make this thing, broadcast quality. So now you only have 500,000. That 500,000, a quarter of that or half of that goes to your cast, and then so you know what I mean. Everything still gets whittled down the same way. It's just different, I guess. High class problems, I guess.
I'll just kind of take a page from you and another one of your co-stars you were in a lot of his movies, Lloyd's book, and just do a bunch of gory trauma movies and just make my way through there that way.
You know what? I mean, as long as you're having fun doing it, man. It's like, and that was the thing. Like, I did so many indie horror flicks, and did it because I loved horror movies, not for any other reason. It wasn't like I was trying to get famous or anything like that. Although, to be perfectly honest, that side of it sounds awesome. You know, it's like, who doesn't want to be rich and not have to worry about jobs coming in, right? But that wasn't like a big goal of mine. Mine was just like, I think this is fun. I love the people that make it. I love being around people that make horror movies. And then it got to the point where it wasn't as fun. And it was because I just had made so many. And because of that, like, I had learned quite a bit about the process. So when I would go on to a project, like, you'd have kind of like the A or B team of movies. And it was like the A team had their shit together and they knew what they were shooting, even though they were doing it low budget. They had a call sheet the night before. The director was sketching out little storyboards, even if they were stick figures, even if they were making this movie for $2. And that's the A team of indie filmmaking. The B team was the guy who shows up and he doesn't have even a camera, or it's like, oh, I gotta go get batteries, and they don't have lights, or they have one, and it looks like crap, and it's like nobody's researched anything. And so I found myself often a lot of those B-team projects, and I was like, no, dude, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm here, I'm prepared, and so it kind of became the when this isn't fun anymore, I'm gonna stop. And so that's kind of why, like, I went from making like 1,000 movies a year to making like one or two or three. Because I mean, fortunately, we're in a position where I can be a bit more choosy, but also it's like I just never wanted to get to that point where I was that kind of pissed off old scream queen. Like like I wanted to still maintain the reputation of, oh my god, Tiffany was in our movie and she was super fun and we had a great time.
Yeah, because that also affects you when you go to conventions too, because they won't want to book you based on how many people keep saying Tiffany Shepis is the biggest bitch in the world.
Yeah, no, of course.
I've been that person who went up to the con person and like, do not ever book that woman again.
But like, I mean, I've been at conventions with people, and people are rude to fans. I mean, I have a big pet peeve about being rude, like
Oh
to
my god.
kids
I
or
just.
handicapped people. Like,
Oh my god.
I'll
Yep.
want to punch somebody in the face. But my thing is, it's like, and you kind of still sometimes have to put myself in check, like, because like I'm human. Like, I may show up to a convention and I took the red eye there and I had to shoot the night before, and I have 2 kids and a husband, and it's not like I'm rich and famous and have nannies and things. You know what I mean? It's like, we're just regular everyday people. So yeah, certainly sometimes you get somewhere and you're tired and your head hurts or whatnot. But I've had to put myself in check to the point where it's like, snap the F out of it. This dude traveled, even if it was a mile, to meet me, because whatever it was about the movie, whether it was the TNA or what, but it inspired him to come here to meet me. And that's cool. And there may be a day that doesn't happen. So it's like, I have to put myself in check, like, put a smile on your face. And then it reminds me of why I started doing this in the first place. It's like, the fans that we have are cool. Horror fans genuinely are really nice people. And I think it's because almost all of us at some point were like the outcast. So there's no room for anyone to be a dick. You know what I mean? It's like, they were mostly the kids that got bullied. So it's like, you don't find a lot of attitude with people. If anything, you find more shy people, but yeah, like, I pride myself on the fact that almost every convention brings me back time and time again, because I try to show fans a good time. Even if you're not buying something for my table, you can always walk up and bullshit with me. I will almost always sign a few of your DVDs for free. Some dudes kind of get out of hand, like walk up with like 80, and then I'm like, all right, dude, to charge you. But yeah, there's no room for people to be dicks.
No, and I just got done with a convention this weekend. I was at a convention this weekend, massive Comic-Con here in Worcester. Pretty decent con, run by guys at Double Midnight Comics up in New Hampshire. They run Granite State Comic-Con, and it was my first convention as an artist. And I'm not an artist, but I'm a writer, and I was there with my booth. The person who bought the booth is Isaiah Solaris, and she's the artist on our comic book, Dracula the graphic novel. Now we take the entire story of Dracula and we gender swap all the roles.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and we have a mini comic book coming out in October, and there was like this one vendor, and he like completely ripped off this poor girl who was just getting into comics over her love of Spider-Gwen, which is a character from Spider-Man where Gwen Stacy got bitten by the radioactive spider and became Spider-Woman, basically, in her universe.
Mm-hmm.
And he like completely ripped her off with like the lie he told her about what book that she was buying.
See, that's not cool. And you know what?
And I nearly lost it,
off.
but I don't want to get thrown out of the con, but I nearly freaking lost it.
Yeah. Well, and that's stupid too. Like, the new generations of fans is what you want. You know what I mean? I mean, let's put it where it is. It's like, a lot of the fans that I grew up having now maybe have families of their own, and they're not coming to a con to spend money on an autograph or a DVD or a shitty poster, right?
I can't always afford that,
What's that?
I said, yeah, I can't. I mean, just before this con, I just got fired from my job at HP. I've been at HP for 3 years, and I got fired.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and this, I mean, going to this con was really difficult. And my artist, she just got laid. She just got her 2-week notice.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, so it's we have to like all kind of support each other. I mean, and if, for instance, we went to WonderCon here in LA just as fans, me, my husband Sean, our kids, and my daughter, who's 11, not particularly into comics, but, she's kind of roaming around looking at stuff. And there was a vendor there, and he said, how do you read any comics? She goes, no, I don't. And she's like, well, I'll buy one of yours. And he charged her $1. And I was like, dude. And like, I shook his hand, and then we bought all of his books for his regular price. Well, because I was like, that's what it's about. Like, you want to gain new interest, new blood, right? I mean, so why do it by ripping her off on the first book that she may or may not like? You know what I mean? And it's like, and, charged her $1 and then like gave her all this other stuff for free before he even knew we were going to buy everything from him. But I was like, dude, that's what this is about. It's like kind of, you have to constantly reinvent the not the genre, what's my word I'm looking for, but, get new fans. Get new fans in. Get them to know that not everybody's an asshole. and there's cool artists out there that are jazzed to meet you, just because you're into the same stuff they're into,
Yeah, and like this one incident a couple of years ago, I wasn't at the panel that had happened. I'm going by my co-host at the time, reaction coming back over, and then the poor girl coming over crying. She asked a question at this panel to this star, and she like shot her down and pointed out like, I've done other things besides horror movies. People, you're at a horror con, honey. What the frickin' frack do you think we give a damn about your Lifetime movies? And this and my co-host is telling me this, no reason to lie. And then the girl who asked the question stopped by our table because she called her over, and she was like this 13 years old goth chick with her eyes streaked. Definitely not from applied makeup, most likely from tears.
Oh, God.
And I was just
That's
like,
horrible.
I swear to God, if I wasn't going to get thrown on this con, I'd go over there and flip that bitch's table over.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. I mean, we've had that too. Like, I mean, it happens to like actors at these shows from other celebrities. Not often. I mean, most time.
No, there's no celebrity that's bad to another celebrity.
No, I'd say 90% of the time everybody's really cool, and most of us are actually very good friends. But there's a handful, like, for instance, Felissa Rose and I were doing a panel at a show, and it was a smaller show, but big turnouts for their panels. And somebody was supposed to do the panel with us, and it was about like women in horror films, right? And I don't know if most people that know Felissa and I on a panel is actually very, very funny. It ends up turning into like a Vegas bad sideshow act. Like, it's like really silly and very interactive with the fans, but people always love it. And this woman straight up just didn't show up, and we kind of kept announcing her, and we found out later from the con rep that she was like, I am not a scream queen. I don't do the type of movies they do. And I was like, it's pretty lame. You're at a horror convention doing the same thing everybody else is, and you know what? I didn't really see your line any bigger than anybody else's,
Yeah. And
it's like, not like you're talking about porn versus Shakespeare, it's like all the same shit. Some are funny, some are more gratuitous, some are scarier, some are bloodier, some are torture porn. It's all the same thing, just wrapped up under one umbrella called horror.
Yeah, and like last year at Rock and Shock, Tobin Bell was there, and now this is something really positive. He said to a fan that, but he was really respectful about answering the question. He doesn't see himself as a horror actor. He sees himself as an actor, and he's only done like out of the 100 of movies he's done, he's only done like a handful that were horror. Granted, the Saw films come to mind, but
Sure.
He didn't like shoot the guy down and like, you're a freaking idiot. I'm not just a horror actor. Don't you want to talk about the time I was on General Hospital or whatever? I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what else he's done besides Saw. So.
Yeah, I don't either. But good for him. I mean, the truth is, yes, we're all actors. I mean, there's really no such thing as a horror actor. Like,
unless you're like Robert Englund or
But even that, I mean, he's done other things. It's just that's what you're known for, I mean, but really, if you can act in a horror film, you can act in anything. It's like, showing tears and real emotion for often a monster that's not even there, or if it is there, it's not scary at all. I mean, that's acting.
Do you wear the badge of like being a scream queen?
I used to wear the Scream Queen badge, like, I mean, the biggest Medal of Honor imaginable. And it's not that I have any problem with it today. What I have a problem with is the misuse of it now.
Uh-huh.
Like when I started, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. And when I got into horror movies, the big scream queens were Linnea Quigley, Michelle Bauer, Julie Strain. It was women like that. Brink Stevens, Jewel Shepard, that were around, and it was almost like they had to kind of pass the torch to you. And I don't really mean that literally, but it was like, I remember looking up to them like, oh, wow, I wonder, how do I get into that group, right? I mean, it sounds so silly, but it was like they were, like, loved because they were loved by fans. They loved their fans. They loved the movies that they made. You could tell, like, they were covered in blood and slime and whatever. Even if their boobs are out, they were having the best time doing it. And I was like, that's a career. That's what I want to do. And it wasn't until Jewel Shepard from Return of the Living Dead wrote a little article about me in Time Out New York Magazine, and after that she said something like the new Scream Queen, and I was like, hell yeah! Like, it was like if you could like slow-mo me jumping in the air with like my hands up, like the most excitement I've ever had. Like, so you used to kind of had to be labeled it by like legitimate like horror media or sources, like if Fangoria like covered you and called you a Scream Queen, then you were Scream Queen, right? Now you can just call yourself that. And conventions will let anybody purchase a table, or they'll give a hot girl who's got giant boobs a table, and she can have a banner that says Scream Queen because she sells a calendar. Like, to me, it always meant like you had to make a lot of horror films, or at least make one that had a really big impact on the genre. In my case, it was a lot of horror films. And so now that it's just a bit skewed, or I guess it's kind of just diluted,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't necessarily love to be lumped into it anymore, because it's like I end up on these lists and they're women I've never heard of ever, and or women that maybe you've heard of, but they don't embrace the genre at all. Like they despise it, and they don't ever want to go to a convention because they think our fans are icky. So it's like, I guess the company I'm in now is less desirable than before. So I'm like, I guess less excited to be like, yeah, I'm a Scream Queen.
I'll take down your Scream Queen moniker off my Facebook page now that you.
You could just say actress that screams a lot. No, dude, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I'm not bothered by it either.
It's like listed on your IMDb, and like, you hear other, you see other things online, and like you were on, you did Adam Green's Sleepover.
I did.
Yeah, and he calls you a Scream Queen, and I was, and
of course.
yeah.
No, dude, it's not a I hate it and I never want anyone to call me that, I'm gonna punch you in the face. It's not that. It's just not as exciting as I guess it used to be, because maybe it is for like a hardcore fan like you, right? Like if you're a hardcore fan,
A horror host, yeah.
Hardcore like fans of the genre know
Yeah.
kind of that the term has been diluted, right?
Yep.
But if you just met a new breed of fans, they just think, wow, all these Scream Queens everywhere. They're just all over the place. Wow, are you one of them there, Scream Queens? It's like, it's just not as cool, I guess. It was cooler when it was a more elite group, I guess I should say. Now and it's just like, oh, yeah, all right, dude, you're a Scream Queen, you're a Scream Queen. Oh, no, you got nice tits, you're a Scream Queen.
The best thing I just got out of everything you just said is and I'm tweeting it right now, is Tiffany Shepis said that if you call her a Scream Queen, she will punch you in the face, right? That's what you said? Okay, go.
Why not?
You can start doing a big thing with that at conventions or whatever. Like, it starts becoming like your thing. Like, Kane chokes people. Yours could be like just like punching people in the face in like photos, but you're not actually punching them, by the way.
No, I will. We'll just make them sign a release first.
Yeah. I don't think Kane makes anyone sign that release when he's like choking people, but
No, but he should start.
Oh yeah.
You should definitely. You want to know something really odd? I have had many a times requests for people from people for me to punch them in the face. I don't know if that said that right, but
yeah, no, you did.
Totally true. Random people, random occasions, like at, you know, a party for somebody's movie, and it's like some weird conversation comes up, and it's like, oh man, I would love for you to punch me in the face. And it's like, what? Like, my husband and I are like, people are crazy, like straight up crazy. And he's like, they're even crazier because I have no problem punching someone in the face. So I'm like, okay, are you sure?
Do you punch a lot of people in the face in your movies? I don't recall.
I'm gonna start having to write it in.
You know, if you ever saw the old Joe Bob Briggs TBS thing where he would like do the countdown of what was in the movie, you know, and stuff like that. He's like, there were 12 kills, 8 boobs, you know, and stuff like that.
And 90 punches in the face.
Yeah, and like there's a counter of like how many times like Sean Bean has died in movies and what ways he's died.
Oh, so it's like the skin, Mr. Skin of punches and death.
Yeah. That's what someone needs to come up with, and start with some actors, and start with a certain group of actors and actresses, and just start figuring out, okay, how many movies has this person died? How many movies have they lived? You know, and if the actor is keeping that total, I don't know if that's creepy or weird or just really dedicated to their art.
I don't know. I've not kept tabs on mine.
I guarantee there's a fan out there of yours who probably has it, and maybe they'll listen to this, go to your next con, and go, okay, so.
Oh no, I'm certain. You know what? I can probably tell you who it is. David Knight, one of the most hardcore fans of mine. That he's an encyclopedia of my movies, and he's not shy at telling me the ones he really hates.
He's got some balls.
He's got balls. But he probably could tell us. So, David Knight, if you're listening, get that tally ready for the next convention.
I mean, would you rather have a fan really tell you the truth that they hated or loved your movie, or suck up to you just to get, like, you know, an autograph and, you know, and...
No, I always want the truth. I'm the first one to be truthful about movies. Like, when I used to sell movies at my table. Like, you know, you could come to me and buy, you know, Night of the Demons, or you could buy whatever, right? And I am the first one to tell people, hey, I don't think you should buy that movie. I think you should get this one. Or, hey, that one's probably not the greatest. Oh, wow, why would you watch that? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? You know, but that I've come to realize, like, I used to do that often. Like, man, you liked that film? That's what got you into horror films? That's horrible. And I realized very quickly that it truly is... everyone has an opinion. I mean, and everybody's opinion is different. Everybody's taste is massively different. Like, the movies that I think are the best of mine that I've made, some people are like, oh, absolutely not. No way. I like this one, and this one. And they couldn't be further on the bottom of my list, you know? So I am always happy to hear people's honest opinions about films, you know?
You know, there is it's funny. It's just mentioning another film that you're done that I'm really looking forward to. She-Wolf Rising. I saw the Red Band trailer for it a couple weeks ago. Is that out yet?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, it's out. That movie was made like 100 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, that movie was made a really long time ago and finally just came out, but it is out. People seem to like it. Deborah Rochon's in it. I'm in it. Joe Zazzo's in it. So it's a fun indie horror flick, and there's a lot of me. There's a lot of me. And I don't mean that in necessarily the sexy way. I just mean I'm in it a lot. So if you're not the biggest fan of mine, you might be like, wow, it's a lot of Tiffany Shepis.
I would hope so. You're on the poster, you know, and
I am. I may or may not be the She-Wolf. Spoiler alert.
And it's one thing I actually brought this up to Harrison Smith, speaking about being honest, when he came on the show and we were talking about his Camp Dread movie. I said, I got to ask you a question, Harrison, and I enjoyed the movie for the most part. But what I didn't like was, why is, like, this actor and this actress on the freaking poster and the DVD cover, and they're barely in the movie? They're like the bumper ends. And he's just like, that's a studio thing, and not really, you know, and they put that on there to sell the movie and stuff like that. And it's like, it's just really misleading when studios do that. But you're in this movie, you say, and you're in the poster, so that's good if fans want to see you.
I definitely star in that one. There's no trickery there, you know, and it's fun, and if you like my stuff, you'll totally dig it. It's just it's very difficult as an actor to be like really heavy into promotion when something takes that long to come out.
Oh yeah.
You know, because it's like when I make something, I'm certainly vested in it then, at that time, and even for the next year after. You know, it's like you're really invested, you remember it, you're excited about it, but then it's like when something takes years and years and years, it's like my taste has changed, like the stuff that I'm excited about has changed, the movies that it's going up against with mine has definitely changed, you know? And like I feel it sometimes is difficult because a lot of people don't know these movies are old, and then they watch and they go, whoa, wait, the quality of this is bizarre, and you know, what was she thinking? She went from making this movie for $2 million to this movie to $50, you know? So those are hard to, like, they're hard for me to get behind. Although sometimes I know it's not the filmmaker's complete fault. It's just tough to go back in time that much, you know?
Okay, so in order to be in my sleepover movie, it's just gonna cost me $50.
It's
Gotcha.
too late.
Okay.
Too late now. Too late. You said no. You gotta rewind your tape. I said, so I should play the pizza delivery one. You said no. I said okay.
I am allergies
Way to
blocking
go.
up my ears. I'm just a little hard of hearing. I'm not joking though. Like one of my ears is completely blocked up, and I was just like dreading this entire weekend because it remained this way the entire way at the con. And now I'm doing interviews, and like one of my ears is like, ugh.
I had to do a convention like that, and it was really so bad. I couldn't hear it myself talk. I couldn't hear people talk.
And you're yelling at them too, and you don't.
I would start yelling at them, and then everybody, you know, wants to take a picture with me and give me a hug. But I actually felt so sick that I was afraid to hug and touch them.
Oh,
you know, it's
yeah.
not that I would get something, but I really felt like I smelled sick. You know, that's just so awful. And that's another thing of like doing these shows. Like you still have to put a smile on and be happy to be there. I probably had 103 temperature, you know, but you're like, hey, show must go on. I can't call in a sick day, you know. Like, these people came all the way here to meet me. So that, I mean, if there is a problem to making movies, that's literally it. That's the only one. It's like, you don't get regular sick days.
In the wintertime, I'll have a new movie being made with a woman who I think is a fantastic cinematography. I love the couple of the short films I've seen her make called Massachusetts Ghost Story. We'll try and have you out for that. We're using like if you saw The Conjuring 2, there's a couple of like really cool ghost tricks which were done with like no special effects. They're literally done with somebody just you don't see them on camera doing things. And I'm like, nice. Oh my god, those are so easy. I know exactly how those are done.
Don't tell me. We haven't seen it yet.
Okay. No, I'm not spoiling anything for you.
We went to see The Shallows today, and we've been dying to go see Conjuring 2. But
how was The Shallows?
You know, we really liked it. We thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, there's some real goofy stuff at the end, but overall, like, she's good in it. The effing shark is giant and scary and cool looking. I'd say, like, overall, like, really effective.
I saw Independence Day on Friday before the convention.
I didn't hear very good things.
It's like, you know, I saw the last one 20 years ago when I was 16. I had to see the new one.
I did not see that, so I
and then
help you.
The Neon Demon, of course, came out this weekend as well, and everyone's been raving about that or hating it, so it's kind of 50-50.
Yeah, I don't know. I may have to wait on that one. Like, wait until it comes out on Apple TV. Just because it's so split. Like, yeah. And some people that I really do respect their opinion on horror films, like, was like, they were not fans of that movie. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's hard. Like, we, you know, between my husband's work and me with movie stuff, and we have kids here, and it's like to get out to see a movie is difficult. So it's always very much like, all right, shit, we need to see The Conjuring 2 so bad. Like, I really, really want to see it. Oh, but we went to see Darren Bousman's new movie at the film festival last week. All right, so we'll go the week after. Like, it's like just time shuffling.
There's one thing that I think it's finally coming out on DVD and Blu-ray later this year. It was out last year and it made a big hit. Tales of Halloween, I thought was like one of the best anthologies to come out in a long time. They
did a great job with Tales of Halloween. Like Adam and Jace, who directed and wrote and produced our segment, which was Trick, are really good friends of ours, and so they asked us to be involved, my daughter and I, and we thought, all right, yeah, we're just going to do this little thing, and it'll be fun. Never in a million years did I think it was going to turn into this kind of big, crazy, hyped-up thing that it turned into. And the movie turned out great. Like, everybody's segment, I thought, was awesome in its own way, you know? And I thought it was fun that they were all so different, like, you know, because we literally walked out of the theater and people were all talking about their own favorite segment, and everybody was different and for different reasons, you know, or their least favorites.
I thought the one with Lin Shane was amazing.
Oh, that was XL's. Yeah, it was very good.
Oh my god, that was creepy. And then at the end, you're just like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
the
it was very
hell?
creepy.
I'm gonna go to bed
Did you know?
tonight and just with the flashlight in my hand.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Did you know that the little girl who stabs the Trent Haga at the beginning of Trick, which is the segment I'm in, is my daughter Mia? She's a little witch.
Oh no, not.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good. Is she going? Has she done other?
She's done a few others, but no, she's not. She's not going to be an actor.
Okay.
we're trying to keep her far away from it, except when it comes to like a few friends or this is cool, you know. But the problem is she's good at it and she does dig it. She
Got that
just
bug.
doesn't have like that crazy kid passion.
Uh-huh.
So until she does, I'm like, all right, cool, great. No, yes, let's just go to school. Because I don't really wish the industry on anybody. I mean, it's certainly great if you're successful at it, but how many people are, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's very hard on especially kids if they're kid actors, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I couldn't have my daughter go work for somebody I didn't know, because the minute they yelled at her, that's when like that whole throat punch thing would come into play. And like I would be arrested. I'd be the opposite of stage mom. I'd be like horrible stage mom, as in like, oh, you're tired, honey? Okay, we're going home. And they'd be like, ma'am, we're shooting like 8 more scenes. Nope, she's done. Like,
you don't want to be the helicopter mom.
Yeah, no. I want no part of forcing my kids to do anything or hovering over them. You know, it's like, kids should be kids. But more power to the kids that really, really have a passion for acting. Just mine has not expressed it, so she'll just kind of do movies for fun here and there. But in Tale of Halloween, it was pretty crazy. She got to kill me in that. It was a lot of fun. And to the point where I go to conventions now and more people talk about her, and I'm like, yo, I was in that movie. I was in that too. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's right, Tiffany. But Mia, let's talk more about you. Like, damn it. I taught you to be too cool.
What was is filming something as part of an anthology just like filming a short film, because it is a short film within a bigger film?
Yeah, basically. You know, I think we were on it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days or something like that. And really had no idea what anybody else was doing with their segments. Like, our segment that we shot was actually first to shoot. So we didn't know if we were being ambitious and crazy or if we were going to be the smallest of the group, because no one really knew how big everybody was going to go, you know? So, but I think it's great. I mean, it's one of the only movies I've ever done that has had like 99% positive reviews, where everyone I talk to is like, oh my God, I love that movie. So that's pretty dope to be a part of that. And my husband edited our segment, which was kind of fun. So it was a family affair.
Do you when you're working with when you do work with your husband, do you find it a lot easier? Do you guys know each other, or do you guys put all of your like your family and your marriage out of your head? Or I mean, does it help being that connected to be I'm tripping over my own words. I'm sorry. Does it help that you're married carry over into your professional life when you work with him on things like Tales of Halloween, or as he produced, he's a producer. No, he's a writer of 12 Monkeys.
He's a writer of 12 Monkeys. He produced the segment, or the episode I did, wrote and produced it.
Do those things connect very well?
It's both. I mean, it's easy. Well, all right. It's hard to work with someone you're married to, or someone you're very, very close with, because it's very easy to turn any mini negative into a big one.
Uh-huh.
You know, so if somebody says, you know, if you're working with just a random director and they're like, why don't you try it this way? You just go, okay, no problem. But if you're working with your husband or a very good friend and they go, why don't you try it this way? You instantly take that as, well, what was wrong with the first one? Well, what's your problem? Maybe it's you. You know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to get angry. On the flip side, you know, working with Sean, I mean, like on 12 Monkeys when I did the episode for them on that, or we did a short called Matchmaker. They're parts that were somewhat like written for me, or like with me in mind, you know. So it's a little bit like he knows my mannerisms, he knows what I can do and what I can't do. So that's really helpful, and you kind of know how to communicate without even talking. You know what I mean? If you're friends with somebody, or you're married to somebody, or you're dating somebody, you have that kind of the way of communicating where it doesn't have to be figured out, like where if you're working with somebody new. So there's pluses and minuses, I guess. Like I don't know if it's easier or harder. I mean, I guess it's easier because you both have like something that you can enjoy together at the end of it all. You know, rather than just like, hey, come to my premiere. I did this movie. It's really awesome. I think you can dig it. Or him going, hey, did you watch that episode that I wrote, or this movie that I made? Like when you do something together, you have that thing, and that's awesome.
Like
it's
the
like making a baby.
Oh.
Aw.
And you have more than you have your daughter who's 11 who's in your movie, and you have another kid as well.
Yeah, we have a little dude.
A little
Max.
dude.
Little dude. His name's Max. He's 3. He's crazy. He's all boy and likes to fight and do kung fu and punch things, and yeah, he's gonna be a handful. He may want to be like Kane Hodder, like crazy stuntman.
Hey, they need stunt men. They need stunt children. So
Stunt babies.
yeah, you know, maybe
a funny short.
you know, maybe 12 Monkeys. There's like he just like, hey, I got my kid.
I have my kid. If you need someone to jump off that bridge.
Would you say that was the biggest project you and your husband did together, like the Prometheus project, the Frankenstein syndrome, that movie with the multiple titles?
Yeah, well, it was originally the Prometheus project, and our producers, I can't remember if it was the producers or the distributor, I think it might have been the distributor, said nobody's going to know what Prometheus is.
Oh my god.
And then a week later, Prometheus came out.
I roll my eyes at that because Prometheus is the name of the book.
And was a giant hit, too. Yeah.
The modern day Prometheus.
They changed it to the Frankenstein syndrome, and yeah, I love that movie. Still to this day, one of my favorite movies I've done. Just because it was really different. It was really different and smart, and you know, different for me than the stuff that I had done. I did a lot of like campy, crazy, you know, trauma-esque horror movies, and so this was a chance to be like, oh look, yeah, I can act, you know. So I really, really dig that movie a lot.
And how many times you get to say you were in a Frankenstein movie your entire life? I mean, based on like one of the greatest selling novels of all time.
Well, that's true too. You know.
Is there one particular creature you've never encountered? Because you've been in like a Dracula kind of movie, you were in a Frankenstein movie, you've been in a demon movie, you've been in a, you know, a shark movie.
I've never fought a mummy.
Oh, well, if I'd known you a couple years ago for the 48-hour film project, if that's like the kind of like a contest happens all over the world, you get 48 hours to make a movie, and we chose to make a mummy movie.
That's awesome. I would have done it, and you would have turned me down too. I would have been like, I want to be in it. You'd be like, no. Okay. Just like the pizza delivery girl.
No, I swear, just not listening. Just half of it blocked. I'm gonna be like re-listening to this interview over and over again and make sure I get all the bumps and boops.
Well, speaking of that, because I know you can cut out and record, I only have a few more minutes here.
No, that's fine. We got to get to your co-star Sean Whalen right after this anyway. So, but we'll wrap this up. Do you have any anything you'd like to promote or any appearances you have coming up in the next few months at conventions?
I don't. I believe I'm going to Motor City Nightmares in September, which is in Michigan, Novi, Michigan. As far as other conventions coming up, I'm really not sure. I just haven't started booking any of them. But we have really, really crazy, fun, ridiculous movie coming out called The Night Watchman, which was directed by Mitch Altieri. He is one half of the Butcher Brothers, and I don't know if you saw my movie The Violent Kind that played Sundance. Those guys made that, and Jeff Allard, Mitch Altieri made this crazy, batshit crazy vampire clown movie.
Vampire clown movie.
And you should seriously do yourself a favor. Just look up the Night Watchman trailer online and check it out. You'd be like, oh my god, this looks insane. So we have that coming out. I have a movie I did called Strange Nature for Jim Ohala, which should be coming out at some point. And Uncle Lloydie makes an appearance in that, Uncle Lloyd Kaufman. And it's basically a like what happens when nature turns on us. Bad things can happen.
Yeah,
So,
it's that's more relevant now in the news than anything else with the monkey and the alligator.
Yeah, it's awful. And then I worked again with my longtime collaborator Rolf Konefsky on a movie called The Black Room, starring Natasha Henstridge from Species.
Ooh,
Yeah,
she
I know.
is.
She's still really hot.
Oh my god.
And Lynn Shay, your favorite Lynn Shay, is in that as well.
Yeah, she is fantastic.
And I am in it, and I play a fun little part of the realtor that may or may not sell properties to people, and they may or may not be haunted or not haunted or possessed, the usual. But it's called Black Room. It's really, really cool, and you should look for that at some point in the next year, as well as me being in massive amounts of mummy movies and movies where I play pizza delivery women, and hopefully more television shows.
We should mention to Kevin to have you come back.
Yes, I would love to come back to Rock and Shock. Gina and Kevin booked me at Rock and Shock. I don't know, the last time was like 2 years ago, and I had to cancel. And I can't remember why. If it was a family member was sick or something happened. And they haven't asked me back again, and it's breaking my heart. So yes, Rock and Shock.
I will text Kevin when I get off the phone with you to say you still love him, and she said yes. Hello back. Book me for Rock and Shock.
Yes, or I will tell the secret of who the big celebrity guest is.
Oh my god, yeah, I'll say that Tiffany agrees with me based on your clues, and if you don't book her... She knows Kurt. They work Hollywood. Don't you know all Hollywood people know each other? I mean...
That's right.
It's all one giant hive mind.
Hilarious.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Tiffany, for indulging us with this long and hilarious interview.
No, thank you so much. I hope I wasn't boring. And it's really great talking to you. And we should make a movie together at some point. And all the other people that listen to 91.3 FM with Dr. Chris should make movies with me. I love Worcester.
Worcester. That's the other dumb way people say it.
No one says Worcester. Worcester's better.
Are you kidding me? When I call a customer service agent, they say Worcester, and I'm like, ugh.
Worcester. I want to go to Worcester, so let's go make some movies.